Spoiler warning, this video contains major spoiler for Death Stranding 2 on the beach, including the full backstory and fate of Neil Vana and Lucy Strand. If you haven't finished the game yet, come back later, or if you want answers now, let's dive in. Neil Vana, played by Italian actor Luca Marinelli, enters Death Stranding 2 as a figure shrouded in mystery. Neil died 11 years prior to the game's event. It is mentioned that he died in Voidout that occurred in UCA 01032 with Lucy.
But everything in that area was obliterated 11 years ago by a Voidout, one in which Neil Vana died.
But his real cause of death is hidden in the dark by breezes that we later come to learn why as we explore his past in this video. When he died, his body had necrotized rapidly and his soul, Ka, became a beast things on the beach. But he retained human intelligence and form unlike typical BTs. As a BT, he commands skeletal soldiers and is a formidable antagonist in the game. The mysterious man, the ghostly figure who fights Sam, but also the same man who once loved Lucy Strand and risks everything for Lou. His story is vague in the game, often leaving players confused, but behind the fragments, Neil's life is one of love, sacrifice, and tragedy. Today, let's uncover his true story so you can finally understand who Neil Vana really is. Analyzing his past memories, it is speculated that Neil grew up in Mexico in a land overrun by BTs. His childhood was shaped by violence, survival, and constant loss. From one of his past memories, we came to learn that he met Lucy Strand as a child. They formed a deep bond at a young age, surviving together in a hostile world. Later, Neil turned to smuggling, but not ordinary contraband. He trafficked brain-dead pregnant women across the Mexican border.
What kind of cargo?
Cargo like brain dead pregnant women.
Women who were used as surrogates for experiments with dooms and babies. It was a dark, cruel business, but Neil was trapped in it. This choice marked him forever, linking him to unnatural world of breezes and the Death Stranding. Despite his grim work, Neil's most important connection remained Lucy Strand, who is also the wife of our hero Sam Potter Bridges. Neil first appeared in Lucy's life as a therapy patient, but she soon recognized him as the same boy from her childhood in Mexico. The proof came from the matching scars on their hands, a permanent reminder of the trauma they had both survived.
So you made it then?
Sorry.
You really don't remember me.
The girl.
When they meet as adults, their bond turned into a complicated love affair. Lucy, torn between duty and her emotions, still loved Neil deeply. But Lucy was also tied to Sam Potter Bridges, and their fates collided in a way that shaped the entire story of Death Stranding. Neil's presence became a shadow over Sam's relationship with Lucy and Lou, and this triangle carried heavy consequences. In the game, players witness a surreal scene of Neil and Lucy as children in Mexico surrounded by danger and BTs. This left many players wondering, was that memory real? The answer is both yes and no. Neil and Lucy did share a childhood together in Mexico. That connection is real, but the version we see in the game is filtered through beats, which does not record events literally. Instead, it shows memories as emotional landscape, twisted, exaggerated, and symbolic. So while they really were children in Mexico, what we see on screen is not a documentary-style flashback, but rather Neil's emotional truth. This mirrors what we saw the cliffhangers war scene in Death Stranding 1. Not literal wars, but symbolic echoes shaped by his pain. They are emotional memories colored by loss, pain, and trauma that are shown through beach lanes. Back in the first game, the city known as UCA 01032 was said to have been wiped off the map by a massive whiteout. The official explanation given by Bridges was simple. Terrorism was ruled out and the cause was declared to be corpse of an ordinary civilian left to necrotize in a residential area. That was the story the world accepted. But in Death Stranding 2, the truth is finally exposed. That civilian was no ordinary person, it was Neil Vana himself. His necrotizing body was the true cause of the Voidout. And as for Lucy, the world was told she perished in the blast. But what Bridges never revealed is that both Neil and Lucy were executed before the Voidout ever happened.
Neil.
Their deaths were not an accident, they were silenced. Bridges erased them not just physically but historically, rewriting the record so their love, their choices, and their sacrifices would never be known. The Voidout that followed from Neil's corpse was the perfect cover-up, leaving behind nothing but a crater and a convenient lie. That's why Neil Vana feels so vague when you first encounter him in Death Stranding 2. His very existence was scrubbed from history, his humanity buried under official reports, but as players, we are finally able to piece him back together not just as a smuggler, not just as Lucy's companion, but as a man defined by love, sacrifice, and the tragic weight of being erased by the very system he was caught inside. This is where their story becomes truly tragic. Lucy knew Sam's child, a repatriate, was destined for a dangerous life. To protect Lou, Lucy asked Neil to go along with the story that he was the father.
They're after my child. They want Lou for themselves. Bridges has plans. And everything hinges on using Lou as a sacrificial BB. Because they need the child of a repatriate. But I won't let them have my baby.
This created a shield for Sam and Lou, allowing them to survive longer in a world that would have otherwise consumed them. But eventually, both Lucy and Neil gave their lives in a service of that lie. In a service of protecting Sam's repatriate child, their deaths were not meaningless, they were acts of ultimate sacrifice. Neil, once a smuggler bound to darkness, found redemption in love and sacrifice. Lucy, torn between two men she loved, chose protection over truth. Together they both died shielding Lou and Sam's legacy. Neil's most defining role in Death Stranding 2 is the relationship with Lou. At the beginning of the game, when Hicks and his group with red dress tries to kill Lou, Fragile made a desperate jump to get the baby to safety. But it wasn't just Fragile who stood in the way. Neil chose to see Lou with everything he had. He took on the role of Lou's father's figure. Some might see this as a selfish or manipulative, but in reality, Neil's actions were driven by guilt and love. He wanted to shield Lou from the cruelty of the world, even if it meant bending the truth about who her real father was. This explains why Neil often comes across as both protective and confrontational with Sam. He is caught between love for Lou and the guilt of keeping her away from her true family. When Sam faces Neil as a ghostly enemy, it's not just a fight, it's the beast forcing Sam to confront Neil's guilt, regrets, and unresolved ties to Lucy and Lou. These battles echo Cliffhanger's role in DS1. Not just enemies, but tragic figures, fathers who loved too deeply, and men destroyed by Death Stranding. One of Neil's last symbolic acts is when he offers a flower to Sam. He's trying to mimic the past scene with Lucy at the same time. It's a gesture of peace, forgiveness, and farewell. After a life of lies, betrayals, and guilt, Neil's final message to Sam is simple: love and sacrifice endure even through death. Neil Vana is not just another antagonist, he represents what the world of Death Stranding does to love, family, and sacrifice. He was a smuggler, a liar, and a broken man, but also a lover, a protector, and in his own way, a father. Through Neil, Kojima reminds us that even in a fractured world, bonds of love and sacrifice define our humanity.